Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to another edition of the Weekly Wake Up with this morning, Angie and Zach. I'm Angie. I am the sharer of smiles. I am a certified run coach, a multi passionate entrepreneur, photographer, and hugger. Yes, I love hugs. And I have joining me this morning in the studio, Zach. Good morning, Zach. Let's tell
Good
the world
morning.
who you are.
I am Zach Morrell. I'm a certified high performance coach and actually now a graduate from a bachelor's program for organizational leadership. So I can add that
Right
to the resume.
on. Hey, congratulations. That's a big accomplishment.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it feels good to have it done. I'll tell you, it was like submitting my last assignment last night felt
Yeah.
great. So
Is that what inspired that shirt you're wearing this morning? Because
disciplined,
yes.
had the discipline to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was a travel day, so it was a little difficult getting everything done, but I made sure I crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, and got it all in on time. So
Oh, right on. Yeah, you were what time did you get home this morning?
we got home. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I still had to squeeze in the exercise. So it was a bit much, but hey, we're here and we're having fun. So
If that's not discipline, I don't know what it is. Because I'm going to tell you, how many hours was your drive yesterday?
it's about an 8 hour drive.
Yeah,
So
eight
it's a
hours
long drive.
through the fog, and then he comes home and he does an exercise. Yes, that is definitely the epitome of discipline right there. All right, so before we get started, let's get this housework out of the way. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified of future episodes. And, you don't want to miss us, right? Because it's Monday morning and this is why you're here. Let's see. We're on all platforms. So we check us out on YouTube. If you want to see our faces, check us out on YouTube. If you want to hear our voices, check us out on Spotify, iTunes, all the platforms. You can check us out there. If you could take some time to leave us a review, that would be awesome. When you leave us a review, that just goes a long way to mess with those algorithms. And yeah, share us. If you find any value in anything we're saying, share us with your friends. Just get the word out there because that's why we're here on Monday mornings. We get up super early and we just want to get out here and motivate you to get this Monday going. Um, this episode is sponsored by the Lions Guide. So the Lions Guide is a growth agency. We empower everyday people to be world-class leaders. Yes, you are a leader, even if you don't feel like one. We feel like leadership solves most problems. And so, yeah, if you ever find yourself feeling like you need some confidence, maybe you're struggling in some areas of your life, work, home, all the things, just hey, go over to www.lionsguide.com. Check us out. There's an online academy. They provide group coaching, one-on-one coaching, organizational workshops, all the things to help get you on track and help you feel like and learn the skills and empower you to be the leader that you are. You already are. Everyday people, we're all leaders. UARD. So this episode is also brought to you by UARD, University of Applied Research and Development. They help veterans obtain their bachelor's or master's degree in emergency management through non-traditional ways of study. So you get to study abroad in New Zealand. Short trip, 10 days, or up to an entire semester. You can use your GI Bill benefits, gain maximum credit for your military experience. Yeah, so if you want to check out New Zealand and work toward earning your bachelor's or master's, it's a really great program. Go to Do Hard Things Nation. That is a mouthful this morning. DoHardThingsNation.com. Click on the next mission project link and get more information there. And last but not least, if you would like to wake up and wear some amazing swag like Zach and I, this is my favorite shirt, Do Epic Shit. Definitely. I love this. I actually, every Sunday night, I have to look back and make sure I haven't worn this the Sunday before because I love this shirt. But yes, this amazing apparel, it's super soft, it's super comfy. It definitely, when you wear it and you look in the mirror, it reminds you, in case you're having you're in a moment of weakness, you can go look in the mirror and read your shirt and be like, yes, get your shit up stuff. Sorry, LinkedIn, back under control. So yeah, you'll also find the apparel at dohardthingsnation.com. So click on that gear, get your swag, go get you some this morning. All right, so back to the fun stuff. And while we're here, Zach, how do you feel
Yeah.
about daylight savings time?
I'll tell you, I'll be happy if they were to get rid of it, but it's rough. It's definitely it can be kind of rough on the body to
Mhm,
have to get used to moving the clocks forward and moving the clocks backward, especially if you're a person that struggles with sleep
mhm.
or things like that. It can be rough. So
Yeah, yeah,
the
for sure.
biggest
So,
thing.
dude, so what is daylight savings time? Daylight savings time is the practice of setting our clocks forward 1 hour between the months of March and November. The idea behind it is to save light, right? Uh, yeah, since spring and summer, the early fall days typically get later in the evenings compared to fall and winter. Um, and the non daylight savings time period that falls between November and March is called standard time. So, okay, check this out. I was doing some research on this because I too cannot stand spring forward fall. Like, I don't like moving the time. It just messes with me every single time. Good morning, Facebook user. We don't know who you are because you didn't go through StreamYard, but good morning. Thank you for being here. Um, so I've always just not liked it. But anyway, so there is a bill that got passed. It's called the Sunshine Protection Act back in March of 2022, got passed in the Senate, and it's been sitting in the House since then to get pushed through to put it into the madness. Uh, there's been no movement on it. I'm ready for some movement on it because I'm
Yeah,
tired of changing the clocks.
I wouldn't be sad about it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Having it stay light till 10 o'clock in the summer is a little awkward, and yeah, having to move those clocks around, boy, it can be rough.
it is. It is. It can be. That's why we're here today. We're here to talk about how it can be rough on your body and some action steps you can take to help alleviate the stress on your body of daylight savings time. But an interesting fact I found out last night on several accredited medical websites, uh, the scientific community feels like we should stay in standard time, not daylight savings time. Now, I'm going to tell you, for me, I feel best during daylight savings time. So when I lose the hour of sleep, but I gain that extra, oh, it's Steph. Good morning, Steph. When I gain that extra light time in the evening, that's where I feel most productive. But the scientific community, from what I read online, they feel like it's better for our bodies to live in standard time, which is where it gets lighter earlier and darker earlier. I don't know. I'm not on board. I'm not on board with that. If we stop changing the clocks, I want it to be like now, like daylight savings time now. But I did find out some interesting facts. So this twice a year thing that happens has been linked to health risks such as depression. Yes, I can see that. Obesity, heart attacks, cancer, and even car accidents. Car accidents just from losing or gaining an hour of sleep. I think that's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of. I know I've heard stuff about that before, like having increased rates of heart attack and stuff during this time. And I always thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Whether it's just the stress, the lack of sleep, what it is, but yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that such a small change could have such a large effect on so many people.
What? So, oh, wait, hold on. You know what that makes me think of? Just overall in our life, incremental improvements. What does Jay say? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do we change our life? One little small step at a time. But that's because those small steps affect everything, the big picture, right? So that just gets me thinking about daylight savings time. One little hour out of your day can completely affect everything when it comes to your health. So the American Heart Association, they did a scientific research back in 2018, and they reported that hospital admissions for AFib, atrial fibrillation, the most common type of irregular heartbeat, rise with daylight savings time, which is where we're at now, daylight savings time. They also report the Monday following spring time change after losing an hour of sleep was associated with a 24% increase in daily heart attack counts.
Oh my gosh.
What the heck? And then conversely, when we lose an hour of sleep, 21% reduction in heart attacks. I mean, I know the science is out there, the science community, I get it, right? But I like I like having lighter evenings, okay? Paula says turn off the new. I didn't know that we changed time yesterday until my son told me last night. Yeah. Okay, Paul. Okay, Paul. Uh Unfortunately, I had to know that because I've got to get up on time to go to work and all things. But stroke rates also increased with the change to daylight savings time. A study from Finland, researchers found the overall rate of, oh, I'm not a medical professional, so I'm going to just try to say this word,
Yeah.
ischemic
Amy.
stroke. Okay, there we go. Was 8% higher during the first 2 days following daylight savings time transition. Um, lack of sunlight suppresses the production of two important hormones, melatonin and serotonin, the sleepy and the happy hormones. So that plays a big role in mood balance, and we could end up being more grumpy and tired, but unable to fall asleep in the days following daylight savings time. What do you think? What do you think about that? That's a lot
I
of
mean,
information.
I think that's a lot going on for a 1 hour change. But I mean, I can feel it though. I can definitely feel when we change and I lose that hour. I mean, it takes a few days to kind of get readjusted and let your body kind of get used to that new timing.
Mhm.
Um, Especially for me, like I'm the kind of guy like I have trouble getting to sleep at night at times. So to get up an extra hour early, it can be rough. It can be
Yeah.
rough. So
Well, and like I was saying, for me, it's completely opposite. So when we go back into standard time and it gets darker earlier, I that's when I feel it the most personally. That's when my mood feels it. That's when um, I'm getting off work at 4:30. It's getting darker earlier every day. It's like my body immediately goes into jet lag mode. Like I feel jet lagged for like, I don't know, a couple of weeks every year. It seems like it gets worse and worse. Um, and my whole, like, I have zero motivation and I have zero, just, I don't know. I'm just like, I just want to get off work. I just don't want to do anything. I just want to go to bed. I just want to, I mean, it's like I can feel it and it's just insane. And I mean, it doesn't help. The older I get, the worse I feel these effects. But anyway,
well,
so
I think some of that has to do with with that kind of that sign of things that are changing. It's like winter's coming. As a Game of
yeah,
Thrones reference, but yeah, I mean, we can feel like that change in seasons coming, and it's like, oh man, we got to get ready for winter. So
yeah,
I definitely feel that as well, but waking up early is rough.
yeah, anytime, no matter if it's daylight savings time or not. Okay, so what can we do about it? It's funny. I scoured and scoured and scoured all the information, and it seems like most of the medical information that's out there, most of all the things, they can all agree that it's pretty much all the things that we should be doing anyway. So uh, let's see. The first thing that you can do to help alleviate the stressors of daylight savings time on your body, get outside during when it's light outside, guys. Get outside. So if you're mandated to take a 15-minute break at work, get outside and go walk around the building. I'm going to tell you that's something I used to do. Which now I've really gotten away from the habit of it, but I've got to get back into it because I have zero windows in my office, right? But I need to get outside and just go take a walk around the parking lot, take a walk around the building. Because what happens when you get outside, your body's exposed to light, your brain's exposed to light. That's a suppression of melatonin. Um, if you can't get outside, but if you can find a window to sit by a window, or maybe use light therapy. But really getting outside in the light, in the daylight, and that's killing two birds with one stone because you're getting out there, feeding your body the light, and you are moving at the same time. So, um, something we already know, but we just needed a nice, gentle Monday reminder.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fresh air, I mean, I'll tell you that fresh air makes a world of difference for me too. Like just breathing in some nice, fresh air. It's like it's so energizing, to get
Yeah.
that feeling, let those lungs just take in, especially on these brisk days like it is right now, still coming out of winter. It's
Hmm.
like it can be a little chilly, but yeah, it feels good. It energizes the lungs, kind of wakes you up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
definitely
Right.
as much as I can.
Let's see. Establishing a consistent sleep routine. Oh my gosh. I feel like I feel like this is just talking directly to me right now. Oh my gosh. What is a consistent sleep routine, man? Um, well, for sure, getting at least 7 hours of sleep if you can. Going to bed at the same time every day, even on weekends, and waking up at the same time every day. Um, that's a really big factor in helping transition yourself through daylight savings time, and then back to standard time. Um, do you get 7 hours of sleep a night, Zach?
That's the tough one. There are many nights where I don't, and I do feel my best when I do get that consistent sleep, like you said. And it's not just getting that 8 hours, but like doing it on that consistent schedule.
Yeah,
That's when I feel the best. So like when
yeah,
we were doing 75 hard, and I knew like if I'm getting in two exercises this morning, I have to get up at 5. If I'm
hmm,
getting up at 5, I have to be in bed, around 9, 10 o'clock to get a good amount of hours of sleep. So, and those were the times where I was feeling really, really feel at my best is when I get used to that schedule and, 5 o'clock becomes a little less harder to get up at, and
yeah,
eventually you fall into that rhythm to where it feels good, but it's amazing how just one day can just throw it all off and you got to readjust and get used to it again. So it's a tough one for me to get consistent with,
hmm.
but I do feel my best when I do sleep. That consistent schedule for a good 7 to 8 hours. So
I feel like for me, it's a good indicator if I am over committing myself, if I'm not getting at least 7 hours of sleep. I mean, 7 hours is pretty doable for me. I can get seven. Well, okay. Six and a half. I can definitely get six and a half on an everyday basis, no problem. But for me to get seven and a half, I really do have to put that in my calendar. I have a bedtime alarm set on my phone that tells me, hey, start winding down for bed. Um, I've got reminders, and it's when I have over committed myself, just in general with all the things, when I see myself going dipping below that 7 hours into that 6 hours, sometimes 5.5 hours, that's a really bad day for me. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of those indicators I have to watch out for.
yeah,
Um, yeah. Are you a napper?
a napper.
Do
No,
you
I've never been much of
Me
a napper.
either. Me either. But if we take naps, no longer than 20 minutes, then that can help us transition and keep us on that nice sleep schedule. Uh, when you take a nap longer than 20 minutes, apparently you can wake up feeling groggier. I hardly ever take naps. I know that's I don't I just
I've
I'm
I
Ooh,
can't do it either. I'm an on the go kind of guy. So once I'm awake, I'm awake.
yeah,
If I haven't fully awoken yet, I can go back to sleep. But I feel like that's way different than napping. Like
yeah.
where you're just in the middle of the day. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna take a little nap.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Never
already
say-
like I'm a like if you ever watch the YouTube video, if you ever watch YouTube of us talking on the weekly wake up, like I cannot sit still. I'm just always like, I've got to be moving, I got to be touching, moving, like stuff like I'm a distract. Sometimes I wonder if like when I'm in person with someone, if I'm a distraction because I'm just always like, so yeah, I'm not a napper, but if you can fit a 20-minute nap in your day, that will help alleviate some of these symptoms and help you get that little extra boost and rest that you need in it, and it could help you actually sleep better at night. And the most important I'm not going to say most important because I'm not a doctor, nor am I in the scientific community. I'm just saying this. This is in my world the most important thing. Stop consuming caffeine at least 6 hours before you know you need to go to bed. Um, okay, let me ask you this. What things do you consume that have caffeine on a regular basis?
Well, I would say it just depends. On the most normal days, I strictly stick to my lattes. So it's a lot of caffeine because it is
Mhm.
an espresso shot. But I'll usually do probably two of those, and I try to keep it in more of the morning hours. So maybe drinking my last one by about noon, somewhere around
Mhm.
there, on a good day. Um, now, now, on those days where I don't get that good amount of sleep and I'm dragging, like,
Mhm.
and I take it into the afternoons, especially getting older myself and growing up a little bit, you know, I can feel it a lot of those days where it's like I'm ready to go to sleep, my body's tired, and as soon as I lay down, my brain kicks back on. It's like, all right, round number two,
Yeah.
so I can definitely feel it when I push the hours a little bit too late on it.
Mhm.
Now, like last night, it was energy drinks, which is never
Ugh.
a good plan.
Mhm.
But it was enough to keep me awake for the drive. So,
Sometimes we got to do what we got to do, Zach. Well,
which is,
so
I'm going to pay for those today too. So
you are. You're going to crash and burn later.
I
Um,
will.
so just thinking about caffeine though, I've been really good actually about not drinking. Like I'll have my coffee in the morning. I might have one around lunchtime, and usually I cut that off. But some other things that we need to take into consideration: what else has caffeine, right? So let's say you're not a coffee drinker, maybe you're a tea drinker. Well, check and make sure that that tea you're drinking. I used to think that all green tea was decaffeinated. No, wrong
Oh, no.
answer. Right? So maybe you're consuming things that you don't really think about as having caffeine. Um, one big thing that I saw last night. Now, I'm not a huge sweet eater. I do like dark chocolate, but dark chocolate has the most amount of caffeine out of all the chocolates. So, if 1 ounce of unsweetened baking chocolate, which is so unsweetened baking chocolate, I like buying those little baking chocolate chips, right, and snacking
Oh,
on
yeah.
those, right. But that's got, dude, 1 ounce of that has about 23 milligrams of coffee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you use that as an
That's
after
that's
dinner
almost a
snack.
that's almost a full cup.
Dude, 3.5 ounces of very dark chocolate has around 80 milligrams of caffeine. 3.5 ounces of milk chocolate has on average 20 milligrams. So, I'm just bringing this up for you to be aware. Anyone listening out there, it's not just coffee that has caffeine, and that's generally what we think about. We think about coffee, we think about energy drinks, but really, we got to look at your diet overall, and look at maybe what you're using as a snack after dinner. If you're one of those people that's like, oh, I'm going to give myself a little snack before I go to bed, or a snack in between lunch and dinner. Just look at, what may or may not have caffeine in it, and maybe try to switch that around. I mean, hey, look, I'm not a huge sweet eater, but chocolate for breakfast, I mean, if you're gonna have it, if you gotta have your chocolate, you may as well have it early in the day.
I have seen some articles though. I know Andrew Huberman talks about it a lot about not consuming coffee within that first hour of waking up.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I can't remember what the exact reasoning is behind it. I think it has to do with crashes and stuff throughout the day, like your energy levels. But
Mhm.
but I have heard that it's better not to drink it within that first hour of the day as well. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
That, you know what, you're right, I was listening to a podcast. Now you got me. I gotta go back and figure out which podcast that was I was listening to recently, and it might have been him, that was talking about not consuming caffeine, within the first hour of waking. But yeah, so anyway, all right, so it's 6:25. Why don't we get into our weekly wake up winner?
Sounds
Drum
like a
roll,
plan. Let
drum
me get
roll, drum roll.
presentation screen share.
Now, Zach and I had kind of a conundrum because I guess we need to get a little bit more organized. We, as in just all of us. We need to keep a running list of weekly wake up winners because there's so many awesome people out there that really deserve recognition because you're out there consistently doing the hard things. You're showing up for yourselves. You're showing up for your family. You're showing up for your community. You're really just putting all the positive vibes and love out there that it's really hard to choose. And also, by the way, if you know someone that you feel that we don't know, right? That deserves, they don't even have to be part of the Do Hard Things Nation. But if you know someone that's really getting out there and getting after it, send them our way. Let us recognize them. And maybe, they might be in a slump and this just might be the little boost they need to keep themselves going. But anyway, so yes, our weekly wake up winner is Miss Christy Sexton. Christy Sexton is a group fitness instructor. I met her during her body pump classes several years ago, probably 5 years ago now. She's an avid cyclist. She is an avid strength trainer. She is a plant lover. She is a people lover. She gives the best hugs and she has the best laugh. And Chrissy, if anybody can motivate you to work your butt off until you puke into a garbage can, it's Christy Sexton. She's just got the biggest heart and she's just so genuine. Like, when you talk to Christy, whatever she's saying, she means it from the heart. And so, and she's always out there every day. She's always, motivating people, sharing her life, sharing ways to get after it, highs, lows, all the things. So Christy, we want to applaud you. We think you're amazing. The community thinks you're amazing. And you're our weekly wake up winner. And yes, yay! You may not be listening because you're on vacation, but that's okay because we'll let you know. So get with Jay and Lacey. You'll get a T-shirt to get out there and wear. And if you've already been chosen, hey, look, it's because you're so amazing. And I don't have a list, so congratulations again if we've already selected you as the weekly wake up winner. But yeah, so yeah, Christy, good deal, good things. So Zach,
I've been over here sleeping this whole time. I still got 1 foot in bed. So,
do you have any final thoughts on daylight savings time there, Zach?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, kind of like you were saying. I mean, it's great that just we can fall back on those things that we already kind of know, because it's like common knowledge isn't always common practice. So during these times of year where we're going through that change. I mean, really, I think it's good to use during any times of change when our bodies are in more stress. We're going through different things. Really just fall back on those habits. And that's kind of what a lot of this is about is figuring out what makes us feel good and going back to those habits when we really need them. Because it's life likes to throw things at us, and the more prepared we are, the more habits we have in place, the easier it is to bounce back. So I think those are some great habits to kind of just have in general, especially this time of year.
Notice Zach said, and really hit home, habits. He didn't say motivation. He didn't say get that motivation so you can rely on that motivation to keep you going. Guys, motivation is like I can't even think of a PG way to talk about motivation this morning. So F motivation. Yeah, that's all I want to say. If you're relying on motivation to get your life done, dude, you ain't getting nowhere because motivation is habits. Habits is where it's at. Use the motivation that when that motivation does come around, motivation's like that deadbeat dad. There we go. That'll just come around every once in a while. You're like, oh, yay.
A little bit of wisdom every once in a while, but
right, yeah, and shower you with gifts. Hardest the feeling that you get from that little bit of motivation to put those habits in place, guys. Put those habits in place. Live your best life. Do something to make yourself smile. Do something to make someone else smile today. Smiles, smiles are contagious.
Absolutely.
Make yourself smile. Force yourself to smile on the inside. It's going to come out on your face. Maybe somebody else will see it. It'll make them smile. We can share the smile, share the love, share the kindness. Let's go forth and have a kick-ass Monday. Let's do this. All right, guys, we will see you next week. Tune in. Hit the subscribe button. hit the subscribe button, like us, share us, and yeah, have a great day.
Have a great day, guys.